Welcome to Detroit. Doesn't matter if you have one ass cheek and 3 toes. I will beat your ass. You can drown them. And that's what we gotta be. That's who we have to be. Because that's our domain. That is our domain. Because we'll tread water as long as it takes to fucking bury you.
Takes the snap, turns, gives to Montgomery, right side, end zone, touchdown, Detroit Lions! Yes.
We are driven by Detroit.
Hello, Detroit Lions friends, fans, and family members, and welcome on back to yet another episode of MCM Motor City Mania. I'm your host, David T. Pike, and as always, we're diving on in. Breaking news, Lions fans, and this is early breaking news. News has just come across the wire that the Lions are trading wide receiver Tim Patrick to the Jacksonville Jaguars. This is massive news. And it's massive news for a couple of reasons. It's massive news first and foremost because Tim Patrick is a well-recognized name. He's a well-recognized receiver. This is a guy that's a veteran. This is a guy that knows what he's doing. This is a guy that obviously when you trade someone like this, it's going to make waves. It's going to make news. But it's news also for what it means for the Detroit Lions. Because what does it mean? It means it's Isaac TeSlaa's time to shine. It means that TeSlaa is going to be starting, and deservedly so. Because you have to think about it here. If Isaac TeSlaa had not performed as well as he had in the preseason, this trade does not happen. And at the same time, you have to go back to what Dan Campbell said, throughout the entire course of the preseason. He's like, TeSlaa, he just continues to climb. He just continues to get better. He just continues to show that we can trust him. And this right now has got to be the ultimate show of trust from the Detroit Lions. It's the ultimate show of trust from Brad Holmes. It's the ultimate show of trust from Dan Campbell. It's the ultimate show of trust from John Morton. And it's the ultimate show of trust from Jared Goff. Because what it means now is that a rookie third rounder, a guy that everybody and their brother, when we made the trade up to go and get this guy, they were dead ass wrong. Because everybody thought, oh man, this is just going to be like, Hendon Hooker. This is going to be just like, freaking Broderick Martin. No, that has already been proven wrong 100 times over. When you make a trade like this and you're getting rid of Tim Patrick, a guy that you brought in last year to help out in the wide receiver 3 conundrum that we were dealing with, because again, go back to the beginning of last year, there was a lot of problems in trying out to figure out, what the Lions were going to do, trying to figure out, replacing Josh Reynolds, who had been the staple wide receiver number 3 for a couple of years. Well, now, after you had that problem settled, the very next year, the Lions are trading the guy that they brought in to fix that problem, and now they're saying, hey, thank you for everything that you've done, but we're now going to pass this along to Isaac TeSlaa because he has performed absolutely beautifully throughout the course of the preseason. And again, you have to take a look at how TeSlaa has performed as to why that's the case. Guy goes out and he leads all receivers in touchdown grabs. He has 10 catches out of 13 targets. Absolutely has a ridiculously high receiving average, ridiculously high reception percentage. I think it's 77% or something like that. Quarterback, rating when throwing to him is in the 120s. I mean, you're talking about a receiver that he comes in and, nobody's expecting that he's going to start right away. But they're expecting that, hey, he's probably going to get some looks. This trade absolutely completely blows that out of the water because now it's like, okay, Isaac TeSlaa is your number 3 receiver. He is going to start. He is going to be with the starting offense. And for a guy that literally over the course of 6 weeks in training camp and preseason has made that big of a developmental factor change, has made that big of a progression change, that is massive. Because again, when Brad Holmes trades for a player, it's because he believes in them. And he's putting a lot of trust in them to show that, hey, you know what? I was justified in making that trade. Isaac TeSlaa has 100% proven that that was a justified trade. And now that they're trading Tim Patrick away to the Jaguars, that absolutely has been 100% on top of that justification, been verified that that is exactly the right move that the Lions made. Because you have to think about this. Kyle Allen was the one that was throwing to Isaac TeSlaa throughout the majority of the preseason. And Kyle Allen looked absolutely like the best quarterback throughout the entire course of the preseason because of it. So now, just imagine this. Now you've got Jared Goff, arguably the most accurate quarterback in the NFL, that is going to be throwing to Isaac TeSlaa. You have this guy in Isaac TeSlaa who is 6'4", 215, 220 pounds, and the guy can run like a damn gazelle. He's literally a 4.4 speed wide receiver. Think about that. And then, to add further insult to injury, the Lions have Amon-Ra St. Brown, who's arguably a top 5 wide receiver, just got named number 20 on the NFL's top 100 list of top 100 players, and he can run a 4.5 40. And then you've still got JMO over there, who we don't know how fast he is, but he's easily in the 4.2s. 4.2s, high 4.3s, somewhere in there. There is a hell of a lot of speed. There is a hell of a lot of, talent on this roster for the Detroit Lions. And now they're saying, hey, buddy, you've shown us exactly what we wanted to do, what we wanted to see. You have proven that you are more than capable of being able to be our wide receiver number 3. You block your ass off, you catch the ball with your hands, you make good route decisions, you're where you're supposed to be. That is exactly what a move like this absolutely signifies for the Detroit Lions. And I just got this alert on my phone. That's why I was looking down. According to the report here, and as it's coming up here, the Jacksonville Jaguars are trading for Tim Patrick, and what the Lions are getting in return is a 2026 6th round draft pick. So it's not exactly big compensation, but a 6th round draft pick is still pretty good for the Lions because, again, let's think about this here. Who did the Lions draft in the 6th round that has become a staple for this Lions defense, even though he's currently injured right now? Oh, that's right. That's Malcolm Rodriguez. And if there's one thing we know about Brad Holmes is he's always been great about finding those diamonds in the rough. So think about that. The Lions get trade compensation out of a guy who came in and you know what? He did very well. He did exactly what he's supposed to do, and that's good. But now it's like, hey, you've got a guy who's significantly younger, who's significantly faster, and he's now going to come in and he's going to fill that role that Tim Patrick did pretty well for us last year. And there's nothing I have against Tim Patrick, but it's like, listen, even Tim Patrick himself said he was not playing up to his standards this year within the Lions offense. Now, I don't know if that's because age is starting to catch up with him. I don't know if it's because Isaac TeSlaa was just outperforming him, outshining him that much in practice. But the point of the matter is, the Lions do not make a move like this if they do not 100% absolutely believe in what they're seeing from Isaac TeSlaa. That's absolutely the truth here. But there's one other thing about this move that Lions fans need to understand what this means. We're literally, at the time that this happened, it was like 7 o'clock in the morning when this news broke. Brad Holmes is already making moves. It's 7 a.m., 7:30 at the time I'm recording this. Brad Holmes is already making moves. This goes back to what I was also saying earlier. Brad Holmes is going to bring back Zadarius Smith. I'm telling you, it's gonna happen. When Brad Holmes is up this early and he's already making moves, he's got a lot of stuff that he's planning on doing. He's got a lot of things that he's already planning on, putting into effect. And having said that, it's like, listen, we already knew yesterday that the Lions had 3 extra roster spots that they had, not filled after cuts were finalized. So it's like, okay, as I said in yesterday's episode, one of those spots has absolutely got to be for Zadarius Smith to come back in. Then that leaves those last 2 spots, which, again, it could be that the Lions are going to bring in somebody else to fill those spots, so that way they've got the roster all full and ready to rock and roll for the season. Or it could be that they're going to use those spots for guys that are coming off of injury relatively quickly, whether it's Miles Frazier, whether it's Josh Pascal, whatever the case might be. That might be why those roster spots are there. But the point of the matter is that since the Lions are already making moves this morning, early this morning, I have no doubt in my mind that within the next 24 hours or so, the Lions are going to announce they're bringing back Zadarius Smith. I'm absolutely 100% sold on that. And again, I'm not saying that I'm impervious to being wrong, but like I said earlier, I would be shocked if the Lions don't make that move. Again, everything that happened with the cut downs, as far as the roster cuts, points to that. Everything that just happened this morning with the trade of Tim Patrick to the Jaguars and making Isaac TeSlaa wide receiver number 3. That absolutely shows that. And the reason why I can say Isaac TeSlaa is probably going to be wide receiver number 3 is because of other news that came out that shows exactly what the Lions did in regards to this move. Because the other thing you have to bear in mind here, and again, I'm pulling this directly from my phone, that's why I'm looking down. Not only did the Lions make the trade to the Jaguars of Tim Patrick, but they also signed safety Daniel Thomas, who is a special teams ace. The reason I'm bringing that up is because chances are the reason why, again, they made that move is so that Isaac TeSlaa can fit right into that that wide receiver number 3 spot, because he's an exact carbon copy almost physically of what Tim Patrick was. He's just faster. What that tells me is that they're also going to use Khalif Raymond within this offense, but again, he's primarily going to be used as the punt return person and the kickoff return person, and that's also probably why, as some people have highlighted, and again, I've kind of come around to it, even though I still wish we had Jackson Meeks, why Dominic Lovett is here. Because now it's like, okay, you have your number 1 return guy still in Khalif Raymond. You also have a backup option in Dominic Lovett. And on top of that, since we know he made the roster yesterday, since Grant Stewart is here, you also have him as an option on special teams as a return man. So the Lions, by trading Tim Patrick, they get compensation for the draft, and they also show that, hey, we absolutely 100% believe in Isaac TeSlaa's ability to fill into this, position of wide receiver number 3 within our offense. He has shown us that he is capable and ready to take that responsibility. And I'm telling you this right now. Based upon what I have seen in the preseason, in training camp, the highlights, and everything else, I believe 100% that Isaac TeSlaa is going to be better than what Tim Patrick was able to put out in 2024. And correct me if I'm wrong, Patrick had almost 400, maybe a little bit over 400 yards, had a couple of touchdown grabs, was a really great wide receiver for us. I would not at all be surprised if TeSlaa has 500 plus yards in his rookie year. I would not at all be surprised about that. But his ability to block from the wide receiver position, whether it's for other receivers that are running down the field, whether it's for runs outside. I mean, this move is perfect for the Lions. It gets them draft compensation. It lets everybody know that, hey, this guy is definitely going to make a difference. Because let's understand something here. When the Lions put guys into positions to succeed on the offense, not only do they succeed, but they absolutely surpass all expectations that anybody had for them. So to me, this is an absolutely just brilliant move. It's brilliant because it's like, hey, this is what Brad Holmes does. Brad Holmes is constantly working. He is constantly thinking of ways to improve this roster. He improved the roster by getting Isaac TeSlaa in the first place. He's now improving it again by trading away a valuable piece, getting back draft compensation, and then moving that guy that he went up for in the draft to get and putting him right into that draft spot. Again, it shows how this team has been built. It shows how this team is absolutely moving still in the right direction, how they're still progressing. And that is what Lions fans need to take away from this. We're not trading away a piece because, oh, you know what? We just don't like him anymore. We're trading away a piece because we believe that the guy that we have that was drafted in the 3rd round, that we gave up so much for, is absolutely that damn much better that he can come right on in and he can be a starter for us. And again, based upon everything we saw in the preseason with Kyle Allen throwing to him, I have no doubt in my mind that Jared Goff is going to absolutely exploit the ever-living hell out of defenses, having that 3-receiver combo of TeSlaa, JMO, and St. Brown. And again, that's not even including having Laporta, Gibbs, and Monty also rolling around back there. This offense is just absolutely deadly. It is loaded for bear to absolutely just manhandle teams, whether it's through the air, whether it's on the ground, whatever have you. I am absolutely 100% stoked about this news. Not because of the fact that, Tim Patrick's being traded and I didn't like him, but I'm stoked about what it truly signals and means, and the fact of, okay, Tesla's going to be a starter. He's going to show right away what he can do. But it also means, like I said, that if Brad Holmes is already making moves this early this morning, Zadarius Smith's number is going to be called here relatively damn shortly. I'm telling you, it's going to happen. It has to happen. But anyway, folks, I just had to put this episode together because as soon as I heard the news, I was like, I know exactly what this means. It's TeSlaa's time. It is his time. Rookie, you are up. And I cannot wait to see you on the field, buddy. But anyway, folks, having said that, I'm going to end this episode and say thank you all for watching yet another episode of MCM Motor City Mania. If you like the content, I hope that you will watch the next content that I've also got coming out. I also hope that if you like the content, you will subscribe to the channel if you've not done so already. And if you just did so, I hope that you will also make sure to hit that bell notification icon so that way you don't miss any more content that I push out. And the same is also true for those that have subscribed in the past and forgot to do so at the time. Hope you all have something in your life that makes you happy, makes you smile. God bless, my friends, and until the next time we meet, I'll see you all in the next episode.